So many have asked me, how did I get here? What was the catalyst for me to begin this journey? To learn these lessons, to even gain some of this wisdom to speak on and hopefully pay forward to you guys. And, you know, sometimes I feel more inclined to focus on the fruit, less on the root, because I feel like this channel is one where, if you're hungry, you can pluck the apple off and consume, and hopefully it feeds you and nourishes you well. Um, I'm not really able to hand you the root of the tree to feed you. But the more I've done this and the more I've kind of seen some of the feedback and whatnot, I'm starting to see that whole idea of you can feed a man for a day versus for a lifetime. If you give him a fish, you feed him a day. Teach him how to fish, feed him for a lifetime. And though I think and I'm hoping and praying that this channel is helping in some respects teach y'all how to fish, um, I'm just understanding, kind of more is caught than taught. So whoever's watching this and is is gleaning some insight, understanding more of my journey may help make that um, even more so come to fruition. So with that said, yeah, for me, I had built up life chasing things that I thought were important. And all of that essentially came crashing down, um, almost 2 years ago. And what that sparked for me was an audit internally of who I am, not just what I would say or who I would say I was. I'm talking really understanding who did my life or what did my life scream about who I was. And what I really started to realize and pursue was a journey of truth, because so many parts of my reality were so broken, so shattered, that I had to understand, how did I get here? And that's where I really started to pursue things bigger than me. So I picked up the scriptures, started studying, started seeing basically my life in the pages. Um, and anyway, just got to a place where I said, you know what? I had come to the faith as a child, maybe 11 or 12, but had gone prodigal, just turned away from it for decades. Mind you, saying, fooling myself that I was, doing enough. But again, the actions I was engaging in, my behaviors consistently would have screamed otherwise. And so here I am in the rubble of a life that's blown up. And from that rubble, from the pain, I set an intention to be clear that the purpose of my life is to love God with all my heart, soul, strength, mind, and love my neighbor as myself. But the reality is, my ability to love myself is what sets my ability to love my neighbor. I can't love anybody else more than I can love myself. So I really had to understand and start the journey to say, what does loving myself look like? And how good am I at it? And so that's really where I started to begin um, taking inventory of the cornerstones of what my life were. And quite honestly, starting because those had led me to destruction, replacing those with what I believed in earnest, my best summation of what a disciplined and consistent life and all the components that make up a life. I call them the seven key areas: spiritual, physical, emotional, relational, mental, financial, faithfulness. If I could get those seven areas at least rowing in a direction of discipline and consistency, that surely I don't know where it'll take me, but I just knew I couldn't stay where I was internally. And so that's what happened. And the term compound interest comes to mind. There's just no way you can commit yourself to something like that day in, day out, and not be in a different place. But what's funny is that different place may be the exact same external circumstances while being light years away from where you were, mind, body, spirit. And so once I really started yielding myself to what the scriptures said instead of what my whims or desires, emotions, fleeting thoughts, that's when things really started to change for me, because the lens in which I saw everything was now through the lens of what the scripture said, the truth of what it says, of who it says I am. And it's so funny, even making a video like this, I'm talking gun to my head, $1 million on the table. Do you think you would ever do this? Absolutely not. The former version of myself, too tired, too scared, too small, too whatever. So even me sitting here saying these things is just such a testament to the transformative power of understanding who you are in Yeshua, Jesus the Christ. And it's from that point that, especially starting to study the scriptures, not out of some um, guilt or whatever, no, started building an actual relationship, getting to know who was this, who was this person, like what is he really talking about. And please hear me, I didn't, with my pious and religiosity, and I think I'll learn this stuff. No, I got here kicking and screaming, drugged to this moment. I did not want to be there. But I'm now so thankful. It's a wild thing when you can look on the worst times of your life with gratitude. I am so thankful that life brought me to that exact moment, because it was from there that that's where I met truly the King of Kings, man. So this ain't a sermon. I'm not here to, when I say you got to go on this journey for yourself and really figure out, like C.S. Lewis said, you just got to be clear on your answer. He was either Lord, he was either a lunatic, or he's either a bold faced liar. But there's no D, opt out, incomplete. No, you have to be clear. He's either Lord, lunatic, or liar. And the only way you figure out he's Lord, I guarantee you, if you're still in your ego, you're still operating from bias, you're still operating from, well, this is what I want to be true, then lunatic and liar probably bubble to the surface. But if you're honest, if you're objective, if you're able to put down that first person vantage point and start to look at your life as a third person, how broken you are, how flawed you are, how capable of wickedness you are, not to condemn you, not to condemn you, but just to see yourself fully and honestly know that, man, we need help. Human beings, we need help. There's a gravitational pull on all of us to do wrong, man. Up to us, we're going to do wrong. That's why a 2-year-old, you want to teach him how to lie. You want to teach him how to steal. He sees a cookie, he wants it. He's going to take it. Lie to your face. Chocolate chips all over. Did you eat the cookie? No. And then the cookies get more serious as he goes from a cute little kid to a grown adult. Turn on the news. Actually don't, but you get my point. So all that to say, man, that's that's the bedrock. I don't have it all figured out, nor is that my aim. All I'm trying to do is take inventory of the skills, talents, abilities I've been gifted with, the journeys, the trails I've traversed, and rather than think of it all as me as the center of the universe, how can it help me? How can it serve me? How can it feed me? How can it me? Nah, Now I'm just in a mode where my life is like a tree, an apple tree, fruit tree of any kind. And all the twists and turns of it was designed to help grow and mature this tree so that healthy, vibrant fruit could come forth in its due season. And since you've never seen an apple tree eat its own apple, then it must mean that we go through things to feed the next person. And so that's why I say anytime I show up on your feed, my message and my mission is to give you something to feed on. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.